Hey Explorers, Adam Carroll here. No Nick Durr today at Mastery of Money. You get me solo. Here at Mastery of Money, we help you focus on the money now so you don't have to focus on the money later. Today we're talking about the FAFSA and what your first steps are. So if you are uncertain about what to do in filling out the FAFSA, stay tuned because I'm going to give you the 5 things you need to do right now. So it's an especially important time of year right now. We're shooting this video in October. The reason October is an important time is on October 1st of every year, your FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, has to be then submitted into the federal financial aid system in order to see what kind of financial aid you qualify for. So I'm going to give you the 5 steps here that you need to know to do right away to get that FAFSA taken care of. Step number 1, you have to apply for an FSA ID. Now you may be wondering, what is an FSA ID? I'm glad you asked. The FSA ID is the Federal Student Aid Identification Login Number. And here's what you need to know. If you are starting this process of filling out the FAFSA, the FSA ID process takes 2 to 3 days. So give yourself a couple of days to submit the initial request and get that information back from the government. They're not very trusting because there's a lot of fraud that goes on today. So it takes 2 to 3 days to get your FSA ID back before you can officially start the FAFSA. So step number 1, get your FSA ID and then kick back and circle back in 3 days. By the way, to get started in that process, you are going to go to studentaid.ed.gov. Bang! Right there. Go there, get the process started. That's step 1. All right, step 2, you're back with me. You've gotten your FSA ID, and now you are coming back to completely fill out this FAFSA form. Here's how we're gonna make that happen. I want you to plan on at least an hour. I know an hour is a long time. I encourage you to shut your phone off, set it aside, have your parents, or if you are a parent, have your kid in the room with you so that they can watch you walk through the entire process. You're gonna do it together. Say it with me, together. Good. Here is what you're going to need. Number 1, you're gonna need social security numbers of everyone in the room. That being you, if you are a parent, you, if you are a student, or the opposite if you are neither. Does that make sense? I hope so. I don't think that made any sense. But what I'm saying is everyone that's going to be on the FAFSA, you're going to need the social security number. Mom, dad, kid, all on the FAFSA. You're also going to need your driver's license number for the student. Now, the reason they do this again, it's just checking to make sure that you are who you indeed say you are. As I mentioned before, a lot of fraud going on in student loan world today. So the government's just doing their due diligence and making sure that you is who you say you is, okay? Step 3, as I mentioned, might take a little bit of time. This is actually filling out the FAFSA form. And when you fill out the FAFSA form, you're putting in things like your W-2 earnings from last year, your tax refund information. The government's going back and looking at all of the documents that you have compiled and sent in, again, tax documents, W-2s, etc., as well as things like how much do you have saved for college. So they're going to ask about 529 plans and other savings accounts. They do not take retirement accounts into factoring what your EFC is. Now, the EFC is known as the expected family contribution. And if you don't know what that is, my good friends at Thrivent Student Resources have put a post out to tell you all about your EFC, as well as how to calculate what yours might be. You can access it, bam, there. Okay, check that out. Now, in the midst of this process, you may get frustrated, you may get confused, you may snipe at each other just a little bit between parents and kids. Understand that this is a stressful thing to go through. Because as you put in the information, there are thoughts going through your mind like, oh my gosh, I didn't save enough, or what if I've saved too much? That never happens, by the way. But if you're getting frustrated in the process, know that you can save your progress, you can come back later and finish the application. In my opinion, it's best to just knock it out. But if you do have questions, the best place to go is either your financial aid office at the university to which you're applying, or to another local school. You could talk to your CPA or you could talk to a financial planner. Oftentimes they've gone through this before with other families, and they're very knowledgeable about the process. It can help you walk through it as well. On to the next step. Step numero 4 is check for any errors. Again, once you submit this thing, the government is going to be combing through all of the FAFSA applications, kicking that to the schools that you apply to, and that will help determine what kind of financial aid package you're actually going to receive. So you want to make sure that this thing is error-free. Go back, double check all the numbers, double check social security numbers, double check the driver's license ID numbers. Because again, we want to make sure that there is no fraud check on this, that you are who you say you are, and you get the money that is due to you. Savvy? All right. The last step, and this is the big one, is celebrate because you got done, right? This is the biggest hurdle that most students have when going to college, is filling out the FAFSA, getting it turned in, and actually making it happen. Here's what I want you to know. No matter what your family financial situation is, fill out the FAFSA. Again, my friends at Thrivent Student Resources have a wealth of information about how to fill it out, what else is available out there in the way of financial aid, things like work study, things like other grants that you might be able to apply for. So just know that no matter what your financial situation is at home, it is a great idea to fill out that FAFSA, because the universities also use the information on the FAFSA to build a well-rounded student body, which they're all after. The dates of the FAFSA are really important to know. You have between October 1st and June 30th of the year prior to enrolling to get that FAFSA filled in. In my opinion, it is best to get that filled out as early as possible and turn into the universities as early as possible to give you the best opportunity to get the most money from that school. As always, here at Mastery of Money, we want to help you get smarter about your finances so that you can focus on the money now so you don't have to worry about the money later. Now, if you want to take your money to the next level and elevate your money mindset, watch either of these videos here and make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, because we put out new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And remember, on the pursuit of mastery, you're going to go through just a little bit of pain to gain that grain. See you next time.